everyone, and welcome to another edition of Wavelength Wednesdays. I'm your host, Waveney, and every week I bring you tips and strategies that are geared towards connecting, inspiring, and influencing you to being the best in your career. And welcome. So, last week I spoke about persons, that message was really geared towards persons that were laid off. You know, it's a period of confusion, it's a period of uncertainty, and I really wanted to put some tips out there to help them. All right, so I really hope that you shared the video with persons that you know who has been affected, as well as it's helpful also to listen so you're aware of what's going on. Knowledge is power, and I really believe in that. Today I wanted to speak about for those persons that were left behind, and I wanted to touch on it because nobody really speaks to or gives tips to persons who remain in their jobs and they are affected as well. They would have worked with great people, they would have developed relationships, close relationships. It may be in a case, it may be a manager, like their manager or supervisor has left, and that person has really transformed their lives. And so yes, we have those persons who are laid off, but we also have those persons who are left behind who are now left to pick up the pieces, if you will, who are now left to carry on. And it's so easy for persons to say, well, just move on, at least you have your job. But this is not, we are humans. That's where the human in human resources come in. And so this episode is really dedicated to those persons who have been left behind, and it would apply to anybody who's still employed. And so here are some tips. I want to share three quick tips that would kind of set the focus and direction for you. So the first thing is, again, acknowledge your feelings. So if you listened last week, you would realize that I started with that. And this is important because we are humans, we have feelings, we have emotions, and a lot of the time, well, many times, we are guided by our emotions. We react because of our emotions, and so acknowledging your feelings is healthy. And some feelings that may arise during this time is some persons may feel uncertain, even though their jobs haven't been affected. They feel uncertain, they feel scared. What if I'm next? What's gonna happen? I don't really know, because most of the times it catches people off guard. Aside from COVID, and even within COVID, there were some persons who were laid off that were shocked, and others were shocked, right? So it's okay to feel anger, it's okay to feel scared, it's okay to feel uncertain. Those are okay. And if you need somebody to speak to, find a friend. Or if you do suffer, I don't even want to use the word suffer, but if you do have deep mental issues, like you really need additional support, then reach out and get that support. It is okay. It is okay, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise, okay? And so that's the first thing. And then the second thing is, I want to start to shift your focus a bit and think about what's in your control. What is in your control? COVID is a period of uncertainty, and even outside of COVID, having companies having layoffs or making people redundant makes people feel out of control and uncertain. But the key is to focus what's in your control. And let me tell you what's not in your control right now. What's not in your control is you can't control what a company does. You work for a company, and you know, we could debate, and persons could debate all day who should have gone, who should have stayed, this person did this, this person did that. The company will always do what is best for the company. The company will always do what is best for the stakeholders. The company will always, their company, it's a business, and so that, the company is the company, and we cannot control them, and that's important to note, so we don't go back and forth and spend a lot of energy on something that we cannot control. So that's the first thing. The second thing that you can do, and this really depends on how open your HR person is, if you have one, or how open your boss is or supervisor is to suggestions. So giving feedback. Sometimes when companies do layoffs, there's almost always something that they could have done better. And I can speak from a management perspective. Sometimes when you're in the trenches, that you're the one who is executing, you cannot see from all angles. So there are things that may have been missed. So if you feel like that the company should have done, maybe they could have handled something a little bit differently, it's okay to give feedback. And again, that's going to depend on the management, how open your company is to accepting feedback. It also depends on the quality of the feedback that you're giving, because some people like to get up in their feelings and, oh, you should not do this, and they have all this rah rah rah. Nobody listens when you're screaming and shouting. So if you really want to give genuine feedback, take some time, think about it, discuss it with a friend, and come up with the narrative and the feedback that you're going to give. The second thing is the third thing is ask questions about the new expectations. That's a good place to start, because if job eliminations occur, if somebody in your department has gone, that means the work has to be redistributed. No is not the time to say, yeah, I'm going to pay me more money. That is not the time. No is not the time. And you will not present yourself in a great light if you do that. Taken from me, okay? But you can ask, are my job duties changing? Is it, what are the expectations? That will show that you're interested. That will show that you want to move on. It sends a very positive message. And this isn't to discount again what you're feeling, or maybe how the company do it, or whatever. But my thing is, if you decide to work for a company, and if you decide to stay there, then we have to kind of put up with, and I don't even want to use the word put up, but you get what I mean. We sort of have to roll with it and try to live and work together. All right, and that's a great starting point, because a lot of the times people don't understand. It's also hard for the individuals that are executing. But then again, let me redirect. This is not about the company. This is about you. Just a little bit of advice there. And what can you control? So you can control you. You control your future. And so my third point is, we're going to have a mindset shift. And this is a mindset shift that you're going to take. You're going to focus on you. Yes, you heard me correctly. In the midst of all that is going on, you're going to focus on you. And so what I think, and I've found to be very helpful, because you're scared, you're uncertain, and your confidence probably is a little bit shaky. A great exercise is to make a list of your strengths. Make a list of all the things that you're great at, right? At first try, you're not going to think of anything. I could tell you right now, you're not going to think of anything. You're going to have a difficult time. Continue that process. And if you want to do that for 2 weeks, keep a notepad. I'm a fan of journals. You can purchase a people journal. You are what you think journal. But keep a journal. Just write out your strengths. Write out what you're good at. That's the first thing. Then you're going to make a list of the areas that you feel challenged on, that you don't feel that you're great at. You're going to make that list second. The first list is the feel-good list, your area of genius list. Okay? Don't dilute that with the other one. So you make that list first, then you're going to make a list of the areas that you need improving on. And then what I want you to do is to um, commit to one of those areas that you need improvement on and take action on it. Do something that makes you better. So if it is that you are in a customer service job, for example, and you are uncomfortable dealing with customers who are difficult or conflict, then maybe you want to take a course. Maybe somebody in your organization or some other organization does that well, and you've seen them. You could reach out to them and ask them, well, hey, how do you, how do you deal with this? So, in taking this action, in shifting your mindset to you, you're rebuilding your confidence. You're making yourself feel more secure, and you are also upskilling and developing yourself, because it's about you. You're in the job, your job hasn't been affected. Yes, you have friends and what have you, but it doesn't make sense to get stuck in the past. If you listened last week to the episode, you would realize that I've also given persons a similar exercise. I'm not about staying stuck in the past. We acknowledge it, we address it, we vent, and we move on. Because that is how people come bitter, and we don't do bitter here at the People's Brand. We are forward. We are forward thinking, progressive people here. And so those are the tips. I really hope you enjoyed them. If you have any questions, send me a message. Send me a WhatsApp 663-3356, or send me an email at hellowaveney@thepeople'sbrand.sn. I'd love to hear from you. And if you need a coach, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to serve you. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.